I turned my phone sideways. Am I still upright on your computer?
Why, you don't want to look sideways? Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, so here's what I would recommend for this thing, man. Is I've read through the Las Vegas Criminal Investigative Report and all of the pages. There's 2 PDFs, each with over 1,000 pages that I've read through. And what I think we should do is, I think we should go through each of the sworn statements, right?
Yeah.
The sworn statements, because in the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department investigation for Vegas, they have sworn statements. So you have basically 3 documents full of sworn statements.
Huh.
Yeah. Okay. So initially I was like, well, maybe we should focus on one day at a time, but I think maybe we'll save that for later, right? But because throughout the investigation or throughout all the sworn statements, we're going to be able to piece together a lot of things that we didn't know about before.
Okay.
Like for instance, Paddock and Mary Lou actually stayed in the Mandalay Bay in the beginning of September.
Interesting. Hey, when they stayed at the beginning of September, were there employees or anybody in the rooms on the floor they stayed at then?
I don't know.
Just wondering.
I know.
If there was anybody on the floor staying on their floor then. I don't know. Who knows?
You know, was anyone working on 32nd floor? Right?
Yeah, was anybody working that day? And was anybody staying in any of those rooms that, on that floor, on that entire floor?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's there's a lot of missing pieces. Actually, what's that?
So we were talking just a second ago. You were saying, as far as sworn statements, there's like only one employee that they have a sworn statement from.
I've actually no. So there's multiple employees that they have sworn statements on.
Okay.
But
as far as people up that were in the rooms upstairs,
yeah,
there's only one.
Just regular Joes in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just one. Yeah.
Yeah, that I've seen. I mean, out of all the sworn statements, I still have a couple more to go, but but the interesting thing that I've seen so far that will be interesting as we go through this is they talk about a lot of people being on the 32nd floor and going in and out of the elevators. But I haven't seen the sworn statements for those folks. The other thing I think that's interesting, after reading through now it's probably about 3,000 pages of sworn statements.
Right.
Is that there's multiple sworn statements from Jesus Campos.
Okay.
And I've seen at least one of Shuck, the engineer. And it'll be interesting because of some of the stuff they say in there, what your responses are going to be, you know.
Yeah.
And, but I think also what I started to do after I read through about, 1,500 pages, is I started to look at the date that the interview of the witness took place.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yep.
I mean, we've got thousands of sworn statements by the people in the festival that were center stage watching Jason Aldean.
Right.
Thousands. There's hundreds of sworn statements of people that are at the hospital, right?
Right.
People running all over the place.
Right.
So what I'm saying is there's just thousands of sworn statements of individuals who were affected by the shooting, and their sworn statements were taken within, let's say, maybe 2 to 3 hours of the incident.
Okay.
All right. Now remember, the incident occurred somewhere around 10 o'clock at night. So I'm saying about 12 o'clock to 1 in the morning, most of those sworn statements were pretty much done. I mean, within 6 hours, let's say. I mean, they were done, within 24 hours.
Right.
But most of them were done immediately after. The engineer who was on the floor, and he gave Shuck, the guy that was actually on the Ellen DeGeneres show, he gave a very lengthy sworn statement with a lot of detail. That sworn statement was conducted 5 days after the incident.
That makes no sense at all.
And he referred to his notes.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah. When was Campos?
He has a couple of them. So as we go through those, I think it's good that we keep track of the date in which they provided the sworn statement.
So we know which Campos it was?
Well, yes, exactly. Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of linkages. I think what's interesting about this case, in my mind, and again, for all the viewers out there, I really think that the investigators who actually took the sworn statements that are listed in here, at least from the witnesses that were in the hotel at the time, like Campos and like Shuck, they actually did a good job. There was one cop, he did a fantastic job. And based on his questioning, it's really interesting because, he double backs and he repeats, basically rephrases what the individual says. They confirm it, right?
Oh, okay.
Phenomenal job at asking questions, and even seems confused at some of the answers.
Really?
And it's really good. Okay. Love to meet the guy. Really good.
Yeah.
What I don't see are the follow-up interview statements.
Right.
So what I would like to do at this point, because initially I was looking at days. Let's take the 27th of September. Let's take the 28th of September. That kind of. I think that's going to come together by the sworn statements. But I think we need to just take each video, and we'll just concentrate on one sworn statement at a time per video, and we'll plot it. Not only will we plot it on the city, like this individual came from the Tropicana,
right,
and went to the Mandalay Bay, and then went up the elevator. Not only are we going to plot that, I think we have to. The assumption is whoever did the investigative report, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department and the FBI did this.
Right.
So all we're doing is saying they didn't put the linkages and the time event charts in their document, but we have to assume any normal investigation, you would do it, especially on a case like this. So what I think we should do is we'll take each individual video. We're going to talk about each sworn statement individually. And as we go through each sworn statement, we'll track the movements of that individual based on that individual's sworn statements. Link the individuals that person says they were with at the time and who they encountered. Like, for instance, Shuck talks about certain people he encountered in certain locations of the hotel at certain times. So we can link those people, right?
Right.
To make sure, I mean, we do this because we want to make sure that the scene is set before we hear the weapons, before we actually hear the windows break, and then we can move into the shooting aspect.
Well, that's another thing that's kind of that I'd like to find out too is I don't think anybody ever found glass outside, did they?
There are sworn statements that actually mention glass falling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yep. So that's why I'm saying, as we go through this, it's going to be interesting, you know, to take each person's sworn statement as fact and then overlay it on everybody else's sworn statement.
Right.
Because what we're trying to do, right? I mean, we do that so we can identify inconsistencies.
Right.
Not that there's a conspiracy we're trying to dig up,
Yeah.
but in any normal investigation, you're going to have inconsistencies in sworn statements.
Yeah. Let's start with the ones that actually that were actually, you know, renting the rooms on the 32nd floor. That shouldn't take very long, should it?
No. Yeah. I haven't found any of them. I heard people talk about them, but I haven't seen their sworn statements.
Right.
And the one sworn statement I did see that I think of, there was somebody in the hotel on that floor. You can't read it. Because the scan, it's the only sworn statement you can't read.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, it's weird. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just, you know, but when we start overlaying, I think what we need to do, and this is where I think we could get some help from people that are watching this, is when we start going to each individual. I mean, let's just say we do 50 videos, one video per relevant witness, right? For a witness sworn statement. And we overlay it, we're going to find inconsistencies and gaps. So we need to outline that. And I think this is what we wanted to do in the first place. And we just didn't have all the data.
Yeah.
So we outline and we keep track. This is the inconsistency between this sworn statement and this sworn statement. Were these two individuals ever questioned, a follow-up question regarding that inconsistency?
Right.
So we can clear it up.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I mean, it's chaotic. People are getting shot, killed.
Right.
So there's going to be inconsistency. That's why you get the initial sworn statement, you identify what the gaps, the inconsistency, then you go back and do another one. Right. I have not seen that.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the follow-up interviews.
Well, and most of those people were probably from somewhere else, so it'd be difficult to do follow-up interviews.
No, most of the people that were affected by the shooting were from somewhere else.
Yeah.
We're not going to look at those.
Okay.
That's after the shooting.
Right. Right.
What we're trying to do is we're going to take and look at all of the sworn statements by individuals who were in the Mandalay Bay.
Okay. All right. That makes sense.
So they're still there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so when we identify those inconsistencies or gaps, if anybody out there watching has that information,
right,
then please send it to us at twintalkradio@gmail.com and or post it below. But if you can send it to us in the email and post it, that'd be great, so everybody has it. But at least we would have that, and then we could present it to clarify the gap, the inconsistency. Because we only have time to review so much paperwork.
Right.
So anyway, that's where I think we should start. And what do you think?
I think it sounds good, man. I think it sounds good.
And we'll just do that.
Yeah.
So the first one, let's focus. We'll focus the first one on what do you think, Jesus?
Yeah. Yeah, sounds good.
Jesus's first.
The original Jesus?
Well, they black out all the names, but based on what's said, I'm assuming it's Jesus.
Right.
All right. So Jesus's first.
So here's the thing too, is you probably want to put that in a PDF link in the description of the video.
What's that?
Even though it's public, you should be able just to attach, maybe attach it to the description below.
Yeah.
So
I'll do that. So we'll start that way. And the first one, we'll do Jesus's sworn statements first. And I got the pages for everything, and we'll just start from there.
That sounds good, man.
And we'll plot it. So, all right.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Hopefully, everything comes out the way the investigative report came out.
Right.
Or better.
Right.
Because so it's kind of interesting with a lot of gaps in it. But we'll go through that as well.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's a lot of sworn statements in here that people talked about. About the incident, and we'll match up everything and line it up and figure out where's it. And then what we can do is we can cite out of this document on this page, this person said this, but in this document, the person or somebody else said this. We need to talk to these two people. Does anybody have that investigative report or that interview?
True. Yeah.
Sound good?
Sounds great, man. Let's do it. Let's rock and roll.
All right. Looking forward to the next video. Let's go, buddy.
Yep.
All right. I'll talk to everybody later. Thanks.